We can't celebrate Black History Month without honoring the first Black military aviators in the United States Air Force, the Tuskegee Airmen. Their story is familiar to many. They were portrayed in movies like Red Tails and the Tuskegee Airmen, and there are countless statues and museums around the United States honoring them. Trained at the Tuskegee Army Airfield in Alabama, the Tuskegee Airmen flew more than 15,000 individual raids in Europe and North Africa during World War II. Their impressive performance earned them more than 150 distinguished flying crosses and helped encourage the eventual integration of the United States military. Many are familiar with that part of the story. However, their story is far broader than one of just aviation. It is one of our country's greatest examples of grit, courage, and enduring perseverance. In 1941, as cadets at the Tuskegee Army Airfield, several African American officers with dreams of flying participated in a military experiment. The experiment was not only designed for them to fail, but it also served to change the narrative of a 1925 War Department study that stated that the Negro is fundamentally inferior to whites and they lack the intellect and discipline to fly an aircraft. Tuskegee Airman John Flanagan Jr. was a member of the Red Tails that worked hard to overcome the prejudice.
To them, I think it was more or less a proving ground, just to prove that they too were intelligent. They too could do things that people said that they couldn't do, and they could do it to the best of their abilities, and that being just as good or better than some of the others. They didn't have the top-notch planes. They had secondhand planes. To them, they took everything totally serious. It was education, safety, make sure that when you have that opportunity, you seize it.
For Lieutenant Calvin Spann, an original Tuskegee Airman who's credited for flying one of the longest bomber escort missions, the treatment he experienced as a soldier was actually something new.
We did not grow up in a segregated society. My dad and my mother both went to school with white children. They played sports with them. There were no segregated water fountains or any of that. And so the entire experience of becoming a Tuskegee Airman, from the train ride down, that's where he learned about segregation for the first time. And so it meant a lot when he got there and found out that they didn't think that they could fly just because they were Black. He really almost couldn't believe that, because he had played football with white kids and boxed with them and everything, and he had never even heard of that you couldn't do something. He wasn't told directly. In our arts, we do come from a very small town in New Jersey, but he was told that he was never told that you can't do this or you can't do that because you are Black.
The Tuskegee Airmen, like other African American soldiers, endured deliberate disrespect, injustice, and double standards throughout their training. It was years and even decades before they would share their story with even those closest to them. As stories of their bravery and perseverance spread, so too did awareness of how important their legacy would become for future generations in all walks of life.